Okay. All right. So we're gonna just start. We're gonna start at the beginning. We read over some of these last week. We're gonna get a reader for Exodus 23. Mm-mm. We can start at 12, Exodus 23 and 12. Hmm? Mm-mm. I was gonna bring the microphone unless you put your earbuds into the computer. All right. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
All right, shalom. Can you hear me? Okay. 6 days thou shalt do thy work, and on the seventh day thou shalt rest, that thine ox and thine ass may rest, and the son of thy handmaid and the stranger may be refreshed. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth.
Mm.
3 times thou shalt keep a feast
A feast.
unto me in the year. Thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread. Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I commanded thee, in the time appointed of the month Abib. For in it thou camest out from Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty. And the feast of harvest, the first fruits of thy labors, which thou hast sown in the field, and the feast of ingathering, which is in the end of the year, when thou hast gathered in thy labors out of the field. 3 times in the year all thy males shall appear before Yahuwah the Most High. Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leavened bread, neither shall the fat of my sacrifice remain until the morning. The first of the firstfruits of thy land thou shalt bring into the house of the Most High. Thou shalt not seethe a kid in his mother's milk. Behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies and an adversary unto thine adversaries.
So, in keeping your feast, the promise of the angel, this is the greatest spiritual warfare that you could ever participate in. That's the first step of spiritual warfare. Elaine, are you moving? Yeah, you moving my mouse. Oh, okay. 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 So um that's that's the rundown of the feast in a nutshell. But that I just had to show that last little piece about the angels go before to cut off your enemies. He becomes an adversary to your enemies. And if you read the rest of that, he talks about how he will make your enemies turn their backs to you. That's That's a blessing. All right. Any questions, commentary regarding that piece on the feast? Cut and dry. We went through that last week. Leviticus 23. We're gonna do the whole read that whole thing. Sharing it again. All right. Reader.
And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feasts of the Most High, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Most High in all your dwellings. These are the feasts of the Most High, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. In the 14th day of the first month at even is the Most High's Yahuwah's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Most High. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. In the first day ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High Yah 7 days. In the seventh day is an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. And the Most High Yah spoke unto Moshe or Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye be come into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priest. And he shall wave the sheaf before the Most High Yah to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it. And ye shall offer that day, when ye wave the sheaf and he lamb without blemish of the first year, for a burnt offering unto the Most High Yah. And the meat offering thereof shall be 2/10 deals of fine flour mingled with oil, an offering made by fire unto the Most High Yah, for a sweet savor. And the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the 4th part of an hin. And ye shall eat neither bread, nor parched corn, nor green ears, until the selfsame day that ye have brought an offering unto your Elohim. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering. 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall ye number 50 days. And ye shall offer a new meat offering unto the Most High Yah. Ye shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves of 2/10 deals. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baken with leaven. They are the first fruits unto the Most High Yah. And ye shall offer with the bread 7 lambs without blemish of the first year, and 1 young bullock, and 2 rams. They shall be for a burnt offering unto the Most High Yah, with their meat offering and their drink offerings, even an offering made by fire of sweet savor unto the Most High Yah.
Okay, real quick. Now, y'all see how that's two different. Do you still get it? It's funny how they, you know, how it's translated, but do you get even the offerings show you two different types of offerings? Did y'all see that? Because in Shavuot or Pentecost, you're doing two cakes and seven lambs. In the first fruit, you're doing one lamb of the first year. So you see how they how it's two different times. When we get into the new moons and the into the pseudepigrapha and into the apocrypha, showing how they did it is going to be even more clear because one is in the third month. Oh, bro, man, from the fifth floor. One is in the third month and one is in the fourth month. All right.
Verse 19. Then ye shall sacrifice one kid of the goats for a sin offering, and 2 lambs of the first year for a sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits for a wave offering before the Most High Yah, with the 2 lambs. They shall be holy to the Most High Yah for the priest. And ye shall proclaim on the self same day, that it may be an holy convocation unto you. Ye shall do no servile work therein. It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings
Mm.
throughout your generations. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not make clean riddance of the corners of thy field when thou reapest, neither shalt thou gather any gleaning of thy harvest. Thou shalt leave them unto the poor and to the stranger. I am Yahuwah your Elohim. Speak, I'm sorry, and the Lord, and the Most High spake unto Moses or Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, and holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High Yah. And the Most High Yah spake unto Moses, saying, Also on the 10th day of this 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls, and offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High Yah. And ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before Yahuwah your Elohim. For whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. And whatsoever soul it be that doeth any work in that same day, the same soul will I destroy from among his people. Ye shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. It shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest, and ye shall afflict your souls. In the 9th day of the month at even, from even unto even, shall ye celebrate your Sabbath.
So this scripture, this one scripture is what a lot of people base even to even on. When if you read it, it's talking about atonement. And that atonement is is a Sabbath. You should do no work. So from even to even on this particular Sabbath, you do it even to even. Okay, which tells you how you do your other Shabbats. Because if why would he make a distinction on this one? And it's a solemn, it's not a celebratory, it's a solemn feast, right? So which also reinforces what we were sharing last week about the Abiyah being Elohim of light. So why would he start his day in the evening? Right? So just to reinforce that. All right.
Verse 33. And the Most High Yah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, The 15th day of this 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles for 7 days unto the Most High Yah. On the first day shall be an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. 7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High Yah. On the 8th day shall be an holy convocation unto you. And ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High Yah. It is a solemn assembly. And ye shall do no servile work therein. These are the feasts of the Most High, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High Yah, a burnt offering, and a meat offering, a sacrifice, and drink offerings, everything upon his day. Beside the Sabbaths of the Most High Yah, and beside your gifts, and beside all your vows, and beside all your freewill offerings, which ye give unto the Most High Yah. Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto the Most High Yah 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. And ye shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook. And ye shall rejoice before the Most High Yah, your Elohim, 7 days. And ye shall keep it a feast unto the Most High 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. Ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month. Ye shall dwell in booths 7 days. All that are Israelites born shall dwell in booths, that your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt or Mitzrayim. I am Yahuwah, your Elohim. And Moses declared unto the children of Israel the feast of the Most High Yah.
All right. So something else I meant to mention earlier about the first fruits. That second time it says about the first fruits, that's when you first start harvesting, the end gathering at the end of the year. Because when you look at the logistics of it, the first part, the first that you gather out of when you start for Shavuot, the first that you get, that's considered first fruits too. And I think that's what, when we don't read it slow and pay attention to the wordings, we can miss and confuse different things. Oh, I got somebody in the waiting room. Okay. I didn't have my thing up. Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah. So that is the commands that we've been given. Did everybody notice what he said about forever throughout your generations? Hands down. So who we're gonna look to beyond that? All right. So miracles happen at the feast. Now this is going into the actual doings, instances that the scripture talks about the feast, and so on and so forth. So John 5, 5 through 9. Now we can go back up this. So, because when you read this, a certain man was there which had an infirmity 38 years. But when you go up to the first verse, after this, so after chapter 4, that was a feast of the Jews. And Yahushua went up to Jerusalem. All right. So now let's go and read the John 5, 1 through 9. 5 through 9. Five through 9. It's on there. Mm-hmm. 5 through 9.
Verse 5. And a certain man was there, which had an infirmity 38 years. When Yahushua saw him lie, and knew that he had been now a long time in that case, he saith unto him, Wilt thou be made whole? The impotent man answered him, Sir, I have no man when the water is troubled to put me into the pool. But while I am coming, another steppeth down before me. Yahushua saith unto him, Rise, take up thy bed, and walk. And immediately the man was made whole, and took up his bed, and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. Continue reading.
No, that's it. No, through 9. Okay. So it was a feast of the Jews and it was a Shabbat. Because remember, Yahushua got in trouble a lot of times with people talking about him healing on the Shabbat. Well, we supposed to be able to receive healing on the Shabbat. It's a moed. Remember we talked about it last week. It's a visitation. This is an appointed time. All right. That's one thing. Then I said there are several Bible passages that say people came to Jerusalem at the feast to worship. Even Greek converts came to worship in John 12 and 20. Then you have the Ethiopian eunuch that had come to Jerusalem to worship when he had his experience, right? All right, so 12 and 20, and there were certain Greeks that came among them that came up to worship at the feast. So this is during the time that Yahushua walked the planet, right? Now let's look at after he walked the planet, because it's common for folks to say that the law is done away with and that we don't need to do those particular things anymore. Well, here is an account of hey, Westside Johnsons. This here is an account of someone, an Ethiopian eunuch. Now when you connect the dots, Solomon having his little thing going on, right? With so he developed, that was a relationship between the folks in Ethiopia and with Israel. And here's a young man who's come back to honor the feast. And so we see this one piece about Philip, being translated to see this guy and everything, and miss the whole part about the feast. And again, this is after Yahusha is gone, right? Here is, and y'all can, if you want to write those scriptures down, Acts 24 and 11, about Paul. The reason why he was going, they was trying to tell him not to go. This is where I was sharing last week that when Paul says to not forsake the assembling of yourselves, he's not talking about like Diana. See, because the way we came up in church, that is when you even when you say church or circa, you go back to history and you will see the very people that wanted to kill Paul because he was speaking against that, because they were meeting, like we do in the church today back then. So when he said, forsake not the assembling of yourselves, not as others do, he was talking about them that serve and that was doing the stuff with in the Diana, not according to the feast days. And here he was like, they was trying to tell him not to go back to Jerusalem because they gonna kill him. The reason why he was going back to Jerusalem was not just because he's like, I'm gonna keep the law. I am going to this feast, and wound up getting arrested because they accused him. You read that whole story there, or whatnot. So, and then also you see that years after Yahusha, I mentioned that last week as well, regarding in Zechariah, the prophecy that when we have gone, after we've been gathered up, he's developer, he's weeded out the rebels according to the prophecy. He gonna plead with us face to face. He's gonna reaffirm his covenant. That's where the new covenant begins. We're not in the new covenant yet because the marriage hadn't been consummated yet. The marriage will be consummated after we are gathered back. And in the to not to go all into the prophecies right now, but in the prophecies, it says that that's when he's going to establish that. So after we go through that, and we go through that 1,000-year reign, actually during the 1,000-year reign, the people are supposed to come for the Feast of Tabernacles. And that's what Zechariah 14 and 16 is talking about. All right. But I want to get into some more of the when we get into the Apocrypha, that's when the real reading gonna begin, and a lot of it is gonna start coming together for you. All right. So Paul, he honored the Shabbat, Acts 17 and 2. And Paul, as was his manner, went in unto them the 3 Shabbat days, reason with them out of the scriptures, right? And who was that? The folks in Thessalonica. And where were they? In synagogues. Now, when you see synagogue, well, I'm not going to go into all of that, but understand, synagogues wasn't our thing. And when if you get into the Maccabees, and you'll see whenever they came to worship, their worship was about on Shabbat and was regarding the feast days. So there you see Paul going in, and now he's going to read, and that tells you right there, even in that he's going to reason with them about the scripture. They in this synagogue doing things that, it wasn't connected to what we just read in Torah. So he had to go into even the Messiah. He say, I came for the lost sheep of Israel. And what does the scripture tell us? He said he would go into the synagogue as his custom was. Why? Because they lost in there, right? Acts 18 and 4. And he reasoned in the synagogue every Shabbat and persuaded the Jews and the Greeks. As far as Paul in the feast days. So if anybody tell you when we go to Galatians and people say that the covenant, just all of these different things, as if Paul does not follow the law after the Messiah was gone. This is proving that no, he honored these feasts, just like we read, even if we don't listen to Paul, because I talked about the hierarchy last week. That is Abiyah, Yahusha, who said that he couldn't say anything or do anything different than Abiyah, and Paul. So Paul is TD Jakes to me, or whoever your favorite pastor is. Because Paul himself say, I'm nobody. But for the Paulites out there, Acts 20:6. And we sailed away from Philippi after the days of unleavened bread and came unto them to Troas in 5 days, and there was abode 7 days. Now, so it's a lot of this stuff that he's sharing his where he was at the different time. He didn't go though. He had to serve in Jerusalem for that feast. We just read in Torah where you had to come to that feast, especially the males. The males had to come to that feast. Okay. So here's Paul again, keeping the feast. 2016, Paul had determined to sail to Ephesus because he would not spend the time in Asia, for he hasted, if it were possible for him, to be at Jerusalem the day of Pentecost. He was like, I got to be there. So he followed this. So that lets you know that anything that is shared and said regarding any of Paul's writings, his lifestyle is saying that what we think he's saying is not so. All right. 2 Corinthians 7:8. Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Yahusha, our Passover, is sacrificed for us. Therefore, let us keep the feast. Let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. Now, there are some in the way that say that he took the feast away from us. He said, I don't want your feast and such and what and not. And it's absolutely correct. He said their feast. But we see what he said, because they were living like this. That's what Paul is talking about here. He's talking about a time when the children of Israel did not follow the feast like they were supposed to, because see, there should be a transformation in your life. We said it in the church all the time. You come in here, you shouldn't leave as you came, right? That's all Paul's saying right here. That when you keep the feast, he's encouraging, keep the feast. But when you keep it, get your heart right, because look, I done been to some feasts. Me and the family, we've been to some feasts. Well, it was some foolery going on. It was some foolery going on, right? But here we see that Paul is doing it. The Torah obeyed, Acts 21:24. Them take and purify thyself with them. And I will read the whole thing, or read and listen to the whole thing, so you can get the context, because the pretext, the text, and the post-text gives you all the context you need. But I'm just pulling out these particular scriptures that speak directly to the matters at hand. And be at charges with them, that they may shave their heads, and all may know that those things whereof they were informed concerning thee are nothing, but that thou thyself also walkest orderly and keepest the law. They was saying that Paul did not keep the law. This is what the folks was telling him. Hey, man, do what you do so that they know that you keepest the law. Because they were saying back then that he was teaching people to not keep the law. Okay, let's go to Romans 7:25. I thank Yah for you and Yahusha, our Messiah. So then, with the mind, I myself serve the law of Yahuwah, but with the flesh, the law is sin. Of sin, I'm sorry, is the law. The flesh is the law of sin. So he keeping it. Believed all, Acts 24:14. But this I confess unto thee, that after the way which they call heresy, so worship I Yahuwah of my fathers, the Elohim of my fathers, believing all things which are written in the law and in the prophets. Now, again, Paul is on the bottom. Whether he does or not, whether he follows, he's on the bottom. Okay. This is a letter. This okay. So we established Romans 3:31. Do we make void the law through faith? Yah forbid. Yea, we establish it. That's what Yahushua was saying. I come not to destroy the law, but to fulfill that which is concerning me. He was our trespass offering. And the lesser known law that we haven't learned in the church that he was fulfilling was the piece where if a man writes a bill of divorcement to his wife, that he couldn't, if she goes off with another man, he can't take her. If she leaves him, if he decides to put her away, he can't just take her back. He would have to die in order for him to be able to take her back. So that's another piece of him fulfilling the law. You can find that in Jeremiah 3, where he states that's why he talked in betrothal language when he say, I stand at the door and knock. That's not a good altar call thing. That's not an altar call scripture. No, that's literally how you get betrothed. It's proposed. You say that, you're interested in this young lady. The families talk and whatnot. And then they set the date for the door knock. And then he goes in, he knocks at the door, and the woman has the choice to answer the door and let him in or leave him be. So that's the significance of that, him establishing the law or fulfilling the law. Okay, so we all fulfill the law when we follow. All right, so he taught it. Acts 28:23, and when they had appointed him a day, there came many to him into his lodging, to whom he expounded and testified of the kingdom of Yah, persuading them concerning Yahushua, both out of the law of Moses and out of the prophets, from morning until evening. He taught straight out. They didn't have these letters. That's why I make the distinction, because the Father seeks those that worship him in spirit and in truth. It's not to diminish the value of the New Testament at all. But these people didn't think that their stuff was scripture either when they wrote it. All right. So he delighted in the law. For I delight in the law of Yahuwah after the inward man. Because, most people think that the whole circumcision of the heart thing came after Yahushua. No, you can go in Deuteronomy and find the circumcision of the heart. You can go, it's in the Torah about the circumcision of the heart. It was always about the heart, right? All right, told listeners to do likewise. 1 Corinthians 4:16. Wherefore I beseech you, be ye followers of me. And we just seen that he followed Abiyah, right? We see where he was teaching from, where he's saying this from. So for people to say, even in our construct of church, when you telling somebody to follow you, you stepping into some stuff. And he said it before, follow me as I follow Yahusha. You know, so hands down. My 1 Corinthians 11:1 not coming up. Let's see here. Yeah, well, that's us. I just quoted it. Be ye followers of me, even as I am of Yahusha. All right. Now that's it about Paul and some of the I didn't go over the gospels, the many places. If you do a word search, I'm telling y'all, you just do a word search, feast. You can do it in the Bible app. Do feast, or put in each one of those feasts, those 7 feasts that we talked about, put those in there and search only Matthew or search only Mark, Luke, or John. And you'll see how many times the different occasions that happen around the feast days. Now we read in Exodus where there's a blessing and an ear to be able to hear the voice of the angel that he sends, because he said that the angel is in me, right? Is what we just read. Now, here you're gonna hear some things that out of the Apocrypha, and I know some don't care for the Apocrypha, but what's interesting and what I will say regarding that piece is the Apocrypha. If you look it up in Webster, it's not going to give you the definition. It's going to give you the history. It's going to say these are books that were deemed non-canonical, and this is 300 years after the Messiah walked the planet, even though all of these books were referred to by the Bible itself, the one that they give you. I submit 66. But if you look for the Greek definition of the word apocrypha, it means hidden. Now, and this is where it's key for us to have the Ruach HaKodesh, or the Holy Spirit, is that there are certain things. If you don't know the Torah, you will do some things and promote some things, not knowing that you're promoting something against the Torah. One of those things, I would say, now we just read about what you're supposed to do with the blood. And Yahusha, who says he can't say anything other than what the Father said. All of a sudden, we drinking his blood. So you can see how because our book been in other people's hands. So when you know like it says, to know the truth, you will see what those things were. We'll recognize that what we call communion wasn't communion. It wasn't even they say the Last Supper. It wasn't even they were preparing for the Passover. And because Yahusha couldn't break the law, he couldn't break his own law. You just happened to catch a meal that they had, and the circumstances around that, they were gathered for the Passover. Now, Okay, we won't go into all of that, but let me get back to the Apocrypha and Jubilees. These are different areas that you hear about the you find out about let me see here where I'm at. All right, let me change where I'm sharing. You find out about how they actually did the feast, different occasions, happenings that happen around the feast. Let me stop sharing right there. And then, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand. I need to put that stuff up somewhere. Thank you for letting me know. Come on to the mic.
Okay. Okay, so I know you don't want to get all into it, and I understand it, because that in and of itself could be a lot. But can we just church on it, just a little bit, because that was new. I didn't, because we know that we're not truly drinking his blood,
Right.
and eating his body. We know that those things are just because of the he made a sacrifice, and we know we didn't drink blood. We're not supposed to drink blood. Matter of fact, we're not supposed to eat blood at all, period, because there's life in the blood. But you touched on that, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, yeah, that is right. So, but yeah, like, how did all of that, if you have some to expound on that, because we don't, of course, we don't take communion or anything like that. So
Right.
I just wanted to just get a little, just church
Just church.
on it, just church on it, just a
Okay.
little bit, just a little
Okay.
bit.
So, being that our enemies had our text, what that was not a eating of my flesh or drinking my blood. When you research the different religions that do that kind of stuff, you're talking about Molech. We talking the enemy himself. Okay, but what that was the the engagement drink. That was the wine, because that was part of engagement or betrothal. The part of betrothal, you drank. You know how we do here? We keep the cake for a year, and then we take the cake back out and we eat the top of the cake after a year of marriage. That's what you drink of that wine. And he said it. We won't drink of the wine. Okay, I'm triggering you, Elaine. Oh, okay. Because look, at our anniversary, not our anniversary, but our honeymoon, somebody gave us some champagne, and because I'm predisposed to alcoholism in my family, on my daddy's side, let me clear that up, because my mom on here, she that I pulled out that champagne. I sure did. I was scared of myself. But anyway, but no, that's a part of betrothal. And see, that's how, when you know the truth, you know Torah. So anytime in the letters where they talk about truth, they're talking about the Torah. So when you know the Torah, that we're not supposed to drink blood, you know that the enemy inserted some stuff in there. And I won't even go into baptism. It's a lot of stuff that we have gone into ignorantly. And this is not to bash anybody. We all came through it. Everybody in here came through the church, ain't they? Yeah, we were ignorant to it. And the church kept us reading out of the New Testament, and we only touched some of it, and we really didn't touch the Torah. Unless we controlling our women, reading Genesis 3, or beating our kids, Proverbs. But we didn't really deal in the Torah much. Who want to read Numbers? And so begat so, and Abinadab begat Yehushabab, and Ablaklud the Mizanab begat. Nobody want to sit there and read that. But this was a nation, y'all. It was a nation. It became a nation of Shavuot. So, but anyway, Was that enough of a church? That was a church. So that's what they mislabeled that. And if you go to your in your Bible and go to the New Testament, the beginning of the New Testament, between Malachi and Matthew, they will tell you that no, that's the blank page. Go up to your preface. Now I know some people, if you think about it, a lot of times you wasn't even reading the Bible itself. So I know you ain't read the preface. So if you go and read the preface would tell you this was our best effort to do it. Again, 300 and something years after the Messiah walked the planet. So some of their own ideas got put in there, got inserted in there. And the Maccabees tell us they were already in the Maccabean period trying to, in the 145 BC and so on and so forth, that they was already putting their images in our text. That's why they hid it. Because we would know who it was. We would know that it was Rome who put certain things in our text. That's why you got to know, you can't understand the New Testament the so-called New Testament, if you don't understand the Torah. And I stand guilty as one who's taught a lot of things without understanding the text. So no, we don't drink no blood. That wasn't his flesh. No, he wouldn't have said that. Because he was about to be, because see, he would be a lawbreaker. If he was doing Passover then, he would be a lawbreaker, and that would not make him the Messiah. Because he told them to go get the coat, and we're gonna go and find us a spot in preparation for the feast day. But at the time he died was a time, it was a wrap. That he was the sacrificial lamb at the time, and that's when he delivered his people. Woo! Yeah. So that was the church. Y'all ready to get into Jubilees? Because I got Jubilees, Jasher, Tobit, first Baruk, second Baruk, and Yehudith, and some more. I didn't get all the way into I got some of the first Maccabees. I didn't get to the second Maccabees, just looking at those particular feast days. But again, this is where we want to get into. Y'all ready? All right. Anybody else had any questions about that? Did I make that clear? All right. Let me see. Now I'm gonna go right here because I gotta. Let me move all of this stuff. Yeah, that's interesting. We just read where it said, "Do not eat the blood." Grateful for that. All right, so this is Jubilees 1. Now I can have my reader again. I was just going quick fire through those others.
Verse 1, and it came to pass in the first week, in the 44th Jubilee, in the second year, that is, the year in which Abraham died, that Isaac and Ishmael came from the well of the oath to celebrate the Feast of Weeks, that is, the feast of the first fruits of the harvest, to Abraham, their father, and Abraham rejoiced because his 2 sons had come. For Isaac had many possessions in Beersheba, and Isaac was wont to go and see his possessions and to return to his father. And in those days Ishmael came to see his father, and they both came together. And Isaac offered a sacrifice for a burnt offering, and presented it on the altar of his father, which he had made in Hebron. And he offered a thank offering, and made a feast of joy before Ishmael his brother. And Rebekah made new cakes from the new grain, and gave them to Jacob, her son, to take them to Abraham his father from the first fruits of the land, that he might eat and bless the Creator of all things before he died.
So that's telling you that Abraham was a priest, because you were supposed to bring that to the priest as a wave offering, right? We just read it, right? We just read that. So you see it in action, right? All right. Then we go down to verse 15. And see, if you just stuck with the 66, you don't even know that Ishmael and Isaac still had a relationship. He was still in the mix. And if you ever go back and read and or listen to Jubilees, you will learn that. Well, we'll get in that later. We'll get in that another time. See, because I'm about to give all this other stuff. Okay. 15.
Verse 15. And may he renew his covenant with thee, that thou mayest be to him a nation for his inheritance for all the ages, and that he may be to thee and to thy seed a Yah or Elohim in truth and righteousness throughout all the days of the earth.
Okay. Something it just triggered in me, remembered to mention. Now, in Jubilees 1-4, which first fruits was that talking about? Was that the first or the second, which was Shavuot? Anybody, popcorn style? Or you can put it in the chat.
Was that the first one they was talking about?
It was the second one.
The second one?
Because remember, the second one, you have to have the 2 cakes.
Okay.
Right? Which is Shavuot. Remember how I was saying there's the first fruit, Feast of Weeks. And then after you do those, count those 50 days and you come to Shavuot, the first fruits that you pull out of that at Shavuot, that's where you get your 2 cakes. Because remember, it's 2 different offerings. See, in the first offering, you just bring the grain. You just bring the grain and you bring the 1 kid of 1 year. But in the second one, which is Shavuot, and what it's saying right here, because remember, when we came out of Egypt in Shavuot, that's when we got married. That's when the covenant happened, right? So look right here at 15, renew his covenant. So that ties it to this was Shavuot.
Okay, and going in that same vein, okay, so how does that relate to like the seed time and harvest time? Because everything is all about seed time and harvest time. So if we're doing first 50 days and then we're harvesting that seemingly very early in Abib, in the month of Abib, then are we looking back and saying that harvest, that seed time was around what time was that seed time around that we are now getting a harvest, this early in the month of Abib?
Well, so and that's what, let me see, because matter of fact, oh, I lost my images. Oh no, not that one. I had one up. No, let me see if it's this one. Okay. So when you and you say it slow, seed time, and harvest. There's seed, there's time that happens, and then there's the harvest. So in Abib, stuff is not going in the ground in Abib.
Right.
I had a picture. There we go. So this is the growth. You can see it can go all the way to 150 days. This is the life cycle of the wheat. So seed, time, time, and over here is a harvest. So remember I was saying logistically how what was I showing y'all? Oh, right here. Remember I was saying how logistically the seed is probably going down around February, right? So, so I would really have to pull that because it's been a while since I looked at that, the ancient Israel, the ancient Israel chart of when they, put the seeds down. But we're talking again, if we remember that we're talking about a full-fledged nation. Remember when Samson got the foxes, tied the foxes together and set it afire and made them go through the corn and set all the corn afire? The reason why that punishment was so harsh for that guy that took Samson's wife and for his whole family to die, because he just put them folk in famine, the whole country in famine. So when we get out of our, we break out of our Bible story mindset, we start seeing, oh, so this is what's up. It's just like when we had all those floods in 2018, 2019 and stuff like that, and they was and they're still kind of pushing for this food shortage. How we had all those floods in the Midwest, and a lot of our grain did not come up. Or when we have a drought, your food prices go up. Why? Because this is a country. So they not doing a community garden. This is a and think of it as not being mechanized. How long it takes to sow the seed. And then too, you always got to consider as far as the frost is concerned. When you get your last frost, well, you can put your seed in the ground a little bit before your last salt. And that's why we need to get back to agriculture. Some of the issues that we have in this country that's totally unrelated to agriculture, when it comes to the definition of male and female, a man and a woman, can be solved if kids only knew where their food come from. If they it was in touch with agriculture and understanding how the life cycle worked, and the understanding of how life, the sacredness of life, is even in that plant, because it's a living thing and everything. So, but that's my reading rainbow moment. So did that answer your question? Cool beans. All right, now we're going to go to Jubilees 2 and 9. Okay.
And
I'm sorry,
all
real
right.
quick. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
Go-
I got one more question.
Mhm.
So you know how the book of Jubilees tell you in the 44th Jubilee, the 33rd Jubilee, how are we, like, for somebody who does not really get into like if this is their first time even really delving into Jubilees, how would you explain it to them, why the book of Jubilees does it like that?
It's actually giving you a time frame. I can show you real quick. So this is a timeline. This is an interactive timeline. The short answer is, you said 44th Jubilee, times it by 7, because it's 7 years. and that'll tell you how many years. So one of the things that I saw somebody talking about this, talking about the law and how flawed the oral traditions were when they talk about telephone. Y'all know that game telephone, where you say something in one person's ear and then it goes all the way around and it's a whole different message. Well, see, the thing is, that don't work here, because as you can see on here, now this is just a little sidebar, you can see who all lived with each other. You can see Noah. Let me see. Adam was gone. Let me see. Who was this that was it? So Enosh, who lived most of his life with Adam, he got the information. And look at Noah. Noah spent some years with him. So he can get firsthand account. That's only 3 people down the line. Okay. So that's just a sidebar. But the Jubilees, now this is according to the 2939. I don't believe that the time started. See, they have it back here. I think time should have, now see, this is creation. I believe creation should have been 5,000. It should have been 5,000, because Abba Yah is doing everything in sevens. And that's what Jubilees is in. It's in sevens. And then 7 times 7, 49. And then that next year, 50, is a major Jubilee. Even now, something that we didn't read, everything abides by the 7th cycle. Even your land on the 7th year, it has a sabbatical year, right? So understanding we're going to have a 1,000-year reign. And then when we go into the kingdom, or when you look at tabernacles, and this is another study I can share with y'all later, but tabernacles is the remembrance of this dispensation from creation until the 8th day, which is the big shebang, right? So in my estimation, we are going into the 6th, not the 6th, we're going into the 7th day. When we go into when he regathers us, according to the scripture, if you do a word study on gathering, when he gathers us and we go into the wilderness to be tested, and for him to weed out the rebels, and then we go back into our land, that 1,000-year reign, right? That is preparation day. That's preparation day. And then Shabbat, 7, that's when Kingdom New Jerusalem coming down, right? That's what everybody kind of expecting right now. The whole New Jerusalem, the world gonna come to an end, and this and that. No, the world is not gonna come to an end when we are gathered. But that's for other a topic for another day. But anyway, so the Jubilees, when you do the 40, 44, I have whenever it talks about the Jubilees, it's a week of years. So if you've never read Jubilees, when you go in there, he's gonna say in that particular week of years, the 3rd year, this happened, this, that. No, not 3 times 7. So whatever, if he says in the 21st Jubilee, then you times that by 7 to get the total amount of years that it is, right? But in that week of years, in the 3rd year of that week of years, it's like saying the 3rd day, which is Tuesday. It's just, it's like, it's saying like, but it's saying it in a week of years. It's based on a week of years. And the Shabbat, the 7th year, that's why that economic system of the economy of Israel on that 7th year of release, that's the Shabbat. That's why when the Messiah say, hey man, why shouldn't this woman go free? Why shouldn't this woman go free on the Shabbat? We just saw the man get up and walk because he's supposed to go free on the Shabbat. Right? So okay, that did answer your question. Anybody else? Okay. This is Jubilees 2 and 9.
And Yahuwah appointed the sun to be a great sign on the earth for days, and for Sabbaths or Shabbats, and for months, and for feasts, and for years, and for Shabbats of years, and for jubilees, and for all seasons of the years.
That was the answer right there. I went all around the world. That was it.
Right.
But also, what this tells you as well, the video I sent y'all about the moon being for your annual Shabbat, for your annual calculating your feast days, this tells you that the sun is what you go by. So last week we talked about the guy that shared about the lunar Sabbath is incorrect. Well, here's reference to that. He appointed the sun unto that. Not saying that the moon is not used for something, because there's I'm delving into that with another friend of mine regarding the moon. That was certain things that they looked at, and it's not the new month, because the when it says new moon, remember we talked about we had other people in our book who had possession of our treasures for a long time, and they said certain things, but if you look at the original text, you'll learn that the new moon should be new month. Okay, so that's that. All right. Let's go back. Now we're going to go to Jubilees 6, 17 through 38. All right.
For this reason, it is ordained and written on the heavenly tablets that they should celebrate the Feast of Weeks in this month once a year, to renew the covenant every year. And this whole festival.
Hold on a minute real quick. So y'all see that? Now, I bet you anything we read up, we're going to see that it's Shavuot. But go ahead.
And this whole festival was celebrated in heaven from the day of creation till the days of Noah, 26 jubilees and 5 weeks of years. You want me to read that in parentheses?
So
1309.
Hold on.
No.
Well, that's what. No, you don't have to read in the brackets. But so 26 jubilees. Let's figure this out. 26 jubilees. 26 times 7. Anybody got a calculator?
Mm-hmm. 26 times 7 is 182.
All right. And then what is 5 weeks of years? So we know that 5 times 7 is what? 35. So we add 35 to that, what you just said.
217.
So we understand that it was 217 years from creation to the time of Noah. See, that first grade math is working for us. Okay, go ahead and read.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Second part of verse 18. And Noah and his sons observed it for 7 jubilees and 1 week of years, till the day of Noah's death. And from the day of Noah's death, his sons did away with it until the days of Abraham, and they ate blood. But Abraham observed it, and Isaac, and Jacob, and his children observed it up to thy days. And in thy days the children of Israel forgot it until ye celebrated it anew on this mountain. And do thou command the children of Israel to observe this festival in all their generations for a commandment unto them. One day in the year, in this month, they shall celebrate the festival. For it is the Feast of Weeks and the Feast of First Fruits. This feast is twofold and of a double nature, according to what is written and engraven concerning it. Celebrate it. For I have written in the book of the first law, in that which I have written for thee, that thou shouldest celebrate it in its season, one day in the year. And I explained to thee its sacrifices, that the children of Israel should remember and should celebrate it, it throughout their generations in this month, one day in every year. And on the new moon of the first month, and on the new moon of the fourth month, and on the new moon of the seventh month, and on the new moon of the 10th month are the days of remembrance, and the days of the seasons in the 4 divisions of the year. These are written and ordained as a testimony forever. And Noah ordained them for himself as feasts for the generations forever, so that they have become thereby a memorial unto him. And on the new moon of the first month, he was bidden to make for himself an ark. And on that day, the earth became dry, and he opened the ark and saw the earth. And on the new moon of the fourth month, the mouths of the depths of the abyss beneath were closed. And on the new moon of the seventh month, all the mouths, of the abysses of the earth were open, and the waters began to descend into them. And on the new moon of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains were seen, and Noah was glad. And on this account, he ordained them for himself as feasts for a memorial forever. And thus are they ordained. And they placed them on the heavenly tablets. Each had 13 weeks, from one to another past their memorial, from the first to the second, and from the second to the third, and from the third to the fourth. And all the days of the commandment will be 52 weeks of days, and these will make the entire year complete. Thus it is engraven and ordained on the heavenly tablets. And there is no neglecting this commandment for a single year or from year to year. And command thou the children of Israel that they observe the years according to this reckoning, 364 days, and these will constitute a complete year. And they will not disturb its time from its days and from its feasts, for everything will fall out in them according to their testimony. And they will not leave out any day, nor disturb any feast. But if they do neglect and do not observe them according to his commandment, then they will disturb all their seasons, and the years will be dislodged from this order. And they will disturb the seasons, and the years will be dislodged, and they will neglect their ordinances. And all the children of Israel will forget and will not find the path of the years, and will forget the new moons and seasons and Shabbats, and they will go wrong as to all the order of the years. For I know, and from henceforth will I declare it unto thee, and it is not of my own devising, for the book lies written before me, and on the heavenly tablets the division of days is ordained, lest they forget the feasts of the covenant and walk according to the feasts of the Gentiles, after their error and after their ignorance. For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon how it disturbs the seasons and comes in from year to year 10 days too soon. For this reason, the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order and make an abominable day the day of testimony, and, and an unclean day a feast day, and they will confound all the days, the holy with the unclean, and the unclean day with the holy. For they will go wrong as to the months and Sabbaths or Shabbats and feasts and jubilees. For this reason I command and testify to thee, that thou mayest testify to them. For after thy death thy children will disturb them, so that they will not make the year 364 days only. And for this reason they will go wrong as to the new moons and seasons and Sabbaths or Shabbats and festivals, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh.
Now, if that don't sound like us, now we read where it said that the angel is gonna be, he's sending forth his angel when you handle his feast right, his love language. And he telling you all discombobulated. Right there when it talks about the that they're gonna do they won't make it 364 days only. What is the Gregorian calendar? How many days in a year? 365. Now, did the writings not tell us that the enemy was gonna seek to change times and dates and seasons? Besides the holidays, besides that, we even coming back to the Torah, that's why we look and we figure out when those days are so we can get back to that order. See, this is a part of 2 Chronicles 7:14. If we turn from our wicked ways, just like we are sincere. I'm not questioning anybody's sincerity. We were sincere. But just like Peter was sincere, now you're not going to die. That was not according to Yah's plan. So he called him what? Ha-Satan. And it don't matter what kind of, I said this at my mom's church one time about, I asked how many people had to raise somebody from the dead, and I asked them, where my healers at, people that can heal folk and all this other kind of stuff. And I say, because what's crazy is that it don't matter what gifts are given without repentance, right? Gifts are without repentance. You don't care what kind of gifts you have. He gonna say you worker of iniquity. And we see it right here. Am I is that clear? Am I the only one clear on that one? Yeah, that is interesting to me. All right. Any questions or commentary before I go to the next one? Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So I go back a little bit where it says the first month, the first day of the first month, the first day of the fourth month, the first day of the seventh month. Those are the transitional days that we're supposed to celebrate. Is that what he's saying?
Well, those are markers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a new month, and we can talk about the new moon, because all the new moons are Sabbaths.
Okay.
But these are boom, because he say, we know that the scriptures tell us that he changes not, right?
Right.
So he has these patterns. So to see that for a full year, and this is, who really knew? I know I never, let me just speak for myself. I never knew how long the flood was. I didn't know where I could find it. You can't find it in the 66. You got to find it in the books now this used to be canonical, so here is where you find out how long it's been there. How long the actual flood was. It was a year. Because everything opened up on one day, the fourth month. What did it say? Let's see here. I won't go through it, but if y'all wrote it down, go back and check it out. But you see when the gates for the water were open in the abyss, and when they closed, and then when they opened up to receive the water again, right? It is amazing. It is amazing. It is amazing. All right. This is Jubilees 7 and 3. Oh, real quick before you get started, let me just make this announcement. I made this announcement before. Listen, it's not a service. You can come and leave as you please. Ain't nobody gonna be calling you. You missed the last half of the service. No, we're not doing it. That's not happening, because there is a lot of scripture. There is a lot, and we hadn't made it out of Jubilees. We're only 4 instances out of 12 in Jubilees. Okay, so it's a lot of information, but I'm telling you, it's great information, because we will want him to say, "You worker of iniquity." This is how you get to thou good and faithful servant, right here, right? By honoring, this is a piece of it, honoring, having a circumcised heart, of course, because you don't want to just be at the feast day on Tabernacles camping. We was at one a couple years ago. Yeah, it's just good to be out here with the mishpachah. We camping and going on. Yeah, we clamping. Yeah. It's like a family reunion. No, that's not it. That's not the thing. This is a visitation. They ain't said nothing about a visitation from Yah. So, but anyway, so go ahead.
Verse 3, and he celebrated with joy the day of this feast, and he made a burnt sacrifice unto the Most High Yah, 1 young ox and 1 ram, and 7 sheep, each a year old, and a kid of the goats, that he might make atonement thereby for himself and his sons.
Yep. That's how you know that the law was there, even in what we just read in 6. That's how you know the law started with Adam. Now, we've been told and we've been preached that the law didn't start until Moses. No. When they got their first Vernace outfit, not Vernace, because you not in the garden, right? So you got they've got their first little Vernace threads. That was where they got them skins. So if you study when you study the offerings, you recognize what the priest kept. See, Adam was considered a priest. So, and when I say Adam, Eve didn't have no name until after the fall. Matter of fact, Yahuwah didn't tell him to name her. With his ungrateful, not taking responsibility to sell, he took it upon himself to treat her like an animal. Okay, that's a sidebar. All right, we going back to Genesis 1. We looking for Genesis 1 man that's ready to be able to rule and reign with a wife. All right. And remember, some of the stuff, again, back to other people who thought of their women as second-class citizens, they had our book for a long time. Oluda Equiano tells you that the husband and wife work side by side along with the kids. He tells you how we function. Not only did we work together, but we fought together too. Our women knew how to fight. Okay, that's a sidebar. Okay. This is 7 and 3. Oh, you already read this. I'm sorry. I'm behind. 14:2. 14 and 20, actually. All right, this is Jubilees 14 and 20.
And on that day we made a covenant with Abram, according as we had covenanted with Noah in this month. And Abram renewed the festival and ordinance for himself forever.
Right. Now we heard about that in 6. And notice that when they stopped, when the people before Noah stopped following the feast, they was eating the blood. You see why I'm saying we if you don't know that back history, it's easy to slide in. The enemy, matter of fact, how you say the Antichrist, if something is anti, you know it right off the bat. But if you look at that word, it should be counterfeit Christ. It should be counterfeit. And the only way you could tell a counterfeit is to know the original. So we've accepted counterfeit. And some people, get a little, frazzled when I say that some of us accepted the mark of the beast and didn't even know it. We waiting for a mark of the beast. No, the mark of the beast been here. The beast been here. Some of them horses done already rode. We ain't getting nothing but they dust. Anyway, all right, the next is 15 and 1.
And in the 5th year of the 4th week of this Jubilee, in the 3rd month, in the middle of the month, Abram celebrated the feast of the first fruits of the grain harvest.
So that was a big deal. That one is a big deal. All right, 16, 13. Through 29. All right. This is when Isaac, I think it is, was born.
And she bare a son in the 3rd month, and in the middle of the month, at the time of which the Most High had spoken to Abraham on the festival of the first fruits of the harvest.
Okay, stop right there. It says that the first fruits of the harvest in the 3rd month. Let us look and see, according to our calendar, where does the 3rd month lie? Where is my calendar? All right. Okay, we're going to look and see. All right, so what I've calculated so far, New Year right there, Pesach, unleavened bread. Here we go, the 2nd month. Okay. Then we go the 3rd month. And what's right there? First fruits. Not Shavuot, but the first fruits. And you'll see later about the 4th month. Let me just go on and show you right now. 4th month, right before the 5th month. Shavuot. All right. Now we're going to see it. We're going to see that again. All right. Go ahead. 14.
Okay.
Uh-oh. What happened? Okay.
Verse 14. No, I'm sorry. The latter part of verse 13. Of the first fruits of the harvest, Isaac was born. Verse 14, and Abraham circumcised his son on the 8th day. He was the first that was circumcised according to the covenant which is ordained forever. And in the 6th year of the 4th week, we came to Abraham, to the well of the oath, and we appeared unto him, as we had told Sarah that we should return to her, and she would have conceived a son. And we returned in the 7th month and found Sarah with child before us, and we blessed him. And we announced to him all the things which had been decreed concerning him, that he should not die till he should beget 6 sons more, and should see them before he died. But that in Isaac should his name and seed be called, and that all the seed of his sons should be Gentiles, and be reckoned with the Gentiles. But from the sons of Isaac, one should become a holy seed, and should not be reckoned among the Gentiles. For he should become the portion of the Most High, and all his seed had fallen into the possession of Yahuwah, that it should be unto the Most High a people for his possession above all nations, and that it should become a kingdom and priests and a holy nation. And we went our way, and we announced to Sarah all that we had told him, and they both rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And he built there an altar to the Most High, who had delivered him, and who was making him rejoice in the land of his sojourning. And he celebrated a festival of joy in this month, 7 days, near the altar, which he had built at the well of the earth. And he built booths for himself and for his servants on this festival. And he was the first to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles on the earth. And during these 7 days, he brought each day to the altar a burnt offering to the Most High, 2 oxen, 2 rams, 7 sheep, 1 he-goat for a sin offering, that he might atone thereby for himself and for his seed. And as a thank offering, 7 rams, 7 kids, 7 sheep, and 7 he-goats, and their fruit offerings, and their drink offerings. And he burnt all the fat thereof on the altar, a chosen offering unto the Most High for a sweet smelling savor. And morning and evening he burnt fragrant substances, frankincense, and galbanum, and stacte, and nard, and myrrh, and spice, and costum. All these 7 he offered, crushed, mixed together in equal parts, and pure. And he celebrated this feast during 7 days, rejoicing with all his heart and with all his soul, he and all those who were in his house. And there was no stranger with him, nor any that was uncircumcised. And he blessed his Creator, who had created him in his generation, for he had created him according to his good pleasure. For he knew and perceived that from him would arise the plant of righteousness for the eternal generations, and from him a holy seed, so that it should become like him who had made all things. And he blessed and rejoiced, and he called the name of this festival the festival of the Most High Yah, a joy acceptable to the Most High Yahuwah. And he blessed him, and we blessed him forever, and all his seed after him throughout all the generations of the earth, because he celebrated this festival in its season, according to the testimony of the heavenly tablets. For this reason, it is ordained on the holy tablets concerning Israel, that they shall celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days with joy in the 7th month, acceptable before Yahuwah, a statute forever throughout their generations every year.
Isn't that awesome?
Mm-hmm.
And look, something else to consider when you look at the time from the time that Isaac was born to the time, because after a male is born, the woman is in her time of what is called uncleanness for a certain amount of time, and it's twice that for the female, right? So from here, you can even time out from the time when it said, and we came to the 7th month, and she had done bore a child. It's not like she had done bore him again. No, he was able to be, shown, and people were able to see. Well, not so much seeing, but he had done gone through the time that's allotted in Torah for a woman after she had a baby. Now, we as Black people, you didn't take your baby out for 6 weeks. We didn't know where we got that from. It's from the scripture. Now, we didn't understand that piece about, because of slavery, we didn't understand that piece about it's longer when it's a female child. But that's what it explains here, as far as Torah is concerned. All right. Now we got any questions or commentary on that? All right. Jubilees 18:19.
And accordingly has it been ordained and written on the heavenly tablets regarding Israel and its seed, that they should observe this festival 7 days with the joy of festival.
Right. So you would look at the rest of that. I just picked some scriptures that had the actual feast within them. So 22:1. Yeah, because that was 18:19. 22:1. Jubilees.
And it came to pass in the first week in the 44th Jubilee in the 2nd year, that is, the year in which Abraham died, that Isaac and Ishmael came from the well of the oath to celebrate the Feast of Weeks, that is, the feast of the first fruits of the harvest, to Abraham, their father, and Abraham rejoiced because his 2 sons had come.
Okay, so remember how I said that the Feast of Weeks, it was in its name? You count the 7 Shabbats, it's in its name. And then you count the 50 days, Pentecost, 50, that's the reason, it's in the name. All right. 22. Oh, I'm sorry. This was supposed to be 22:1-4. Go ahead and read the rest of that. Starting at 2.
For Isaac had many possessions in Beersheba, and Isaac was wont to go and see his possessions and return to his father. And in those days Ishmael came to his father, and they both came together. And Isaac offered a sacrifice for a burnt offering, and presented it on the altar of his father, which he had made in Hebron. And he offered a thank offering, and made a feast of joy before Ishmael his brother. And Rebekah made new cakes for the new grain, and gave them to Jacob her son, to take them to Abraham his father, from the first fruits of the land, that he might eat and bless the Creator of all things before he died.
Hands down. 23:19. All right.
Verse 19, and they shall strive one with another, the young with the old, and the old with the young, the poor with the rich, the lowly with the great, and the beggar with the prince, on account of the law and the covenant. For they have forgotten commandment and covenant and feasts and months and Shabbats and jubilees and all judgments.
Don't that sound like us right now? Because we done forgot.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know. One of the things when it says about the sun and the moon will hide their light, where the sun won't shine and the moon won't give its light. This is just my thought process, that in that time that we've been since the Inquisition, And since the beasts have made war against the saints, we have been clueless of what the sun and the moon and the stars are telling us. So in the prophecy, when it said that the sun and the moon, I think it's Matthew 24, that talks about the sun and the moon and the stars won't give their light. We were in the dark on all of this. Like this is saying, we had no clue of our feast days that we supposed to do forever throughout our generations. That is Ericology, just according to my study. And it just makes me think about, because it's a lot of stuff in the end times that we've been waiting for, like the different bowls. We thinking we gonna start at bowl 1. No. The first heart. No. When you know where Israel is in the world, you can tell where we are in the end times. And this speaks of that time, just like it did in early in Jubilees, that there was a time when we're gonna miss it. We're not gonna know those times and so on and so forth. And that's what happened to us when when our laws were taken away from our language, was taken away from us, and our love was taken away from us. All right. So the next is, that was 23:19, 28:3-9, as we walk through Jubilees. All right.
Verse 3. And Laban made a feast and took Leah, his elder daughter, and gave her to Jacob as a wife, and gave her Zilpah, his handmaid, for an handmaid. And Jacob did not know, for he thought she was Rachel. And he went in unto her, and behold, she was Leah. And Jacob was angry with Laban, and said unto him, Why hast thou dealt thus with me? Did not I serve thee for Rachel and not for Leah? Why hast thou wronged me? Take thy daughter, and I will go, for thou hast done evil to me. For Jacob loved Rachel more than Leah, for Leah's eyes were weak, but her form was very handsome. But Rachel had beautiful eyes, and a beautiful and very handsome form. And Laban said to Jacob, It is not so done in our country to give the younger before the elder, and it is not right to do this. For thus it is ordained and written in the heavenly tablets, that no one should give his younger daughter before the elder, but the elder one gives first, and after her the younger. And the man who does so, they set down guilt against him in heaven. And none is righteous that does this thing, for this deed is evil before the Most High. And command thou the children of Israel that they do not this thing. Let them neither take nor give the younger before they have given the elder, for it is very wicked. And Laban said to Jacob, Let the 7 days of the feast of this one pass by, and I shall give thee Rachel, that thou mayest serve me another 7 years, that thou mayest pasture my sheep as thou didst in the former week. And on the day when the 7 days of the feast of Leah had passed, Laban gave Rachel to Jacob, that he might serve him another 7 years. And he gave to Rachel Bilhah, the sister of Zilpah, as a handmaid.
So
Wow.
this is a feast of relationship. And notice how it's 7 days. I put that there for the just showing you how how Yah does things in sevens. He does things in 7. And right now it's interesting how we spend on our weddings and do things that are not even a part of our heritage or history or lineage or anything that the things that we do are not even ordained by scripture in our weddings, and our wedding ain't but 30 minutes. They have a 7-day feast enjoying, because what did Paul call marriage? The mystery of Yahushua and his bride. You know, so that's just a quick little tidbit there. You're right, but he was wicked. You know, yeah. But if you think about it, Yaakov got what he sold. He was the younger getting the inheritance. So, and listen, as much as we think that these people didn't talk and that stuff didn't travel back then, I wouldn't be surprised that Laban knew what happened back at the house. That was his sister over there. You mean to tell me she got married to Isaac and they didn't talk? They kinfolk. You know, so who knows what else was going on in that. But yeah, he could have, as far as character was concerned, he could have told the man what was up. He could have shared with the man what was up. Cold-blooded. All right. This is 29:7.
And on the 15th of those days, Jacob or Yaakov made a feast for Laban and for all who came with him. And Jacob swore to Laban that day, and Laban also to Jacob, that neither should cross the mountain of Gilead to the other with evil purpose.
Right. And we over our time. I'm gonna rush through these a couple of more, and I'll put these scriptures in the chat. 32:27, because there's a whole lot more. 32:27 to 29.
And verse 27, and he celebrated there yet another day, and he sacrificed thereon according to all that he sacrificed on the former days, and called its name Addition, for this day was added, and the former days he called the feast. And thus it was manifested that it should be, and it is written on the heavenly tablets. Wherefore it was revealed to him that he should celebrate it and add it to the 7 days of the feast. And its name was called Addition, because that it was recorded amongst the days of the feast days, according to the number of the days of the year.
Okay. Now, on this one, you want to go back and read the pretext, because it's interesting. All right. I can't say no more. All right. Because we'll be here all night. 42 and 22.
Verse 22. And he sent him into his house, and he brought forth Simeon unto them, and he made a feast for them, and they presented to him the gift which they had brought in their hands.
Okay, I'm not going, because this has to do with because he also and they did eat before them gave the portion, but Benjamin was 7 times larger than any of theirs. You know, it was showing, and this is part of our hearts got to be right on these feasts. You know, favoritism is not something that Abiyah fancies. He's not about that. Come
on. You said that there was you got a lot more. Is it okay maybe if you break it up? Because I would like a little bit more information on that previous passage that we talked about, the day of addition. So I do want to what would be the pretext of that? How can I find some additional information on addition?
So what I mean by the pretext, I mean that full chapter.
Okay.
We kind of popcorning it, just pulling out the scriptures that talks about a feast of any sort.
Okay.
So yeah. So when you read the text before that, and like I say, y'all, there is also an app to where you can read and listen. That's just the kind of mind I kind of got, that I can see it. It's going through my ear gate and through my eye gate, and I can see, and two, when it's for me, when it's read, you kind of hear it in the context of a conversation,
Right.
and you pick out some things that just reading the text, without it sounding like somebody talking, because this is somebody talking. Some nuances can be missed. For instance, like with Ephesians, if you ever just sit and listen to Ephesians, and because Exodus chapter 20, if you already know Exodus chapter 20, when you listen to Ephesians, Paul is explaining the Ten Commandments in Ephesians. But when we cherry pick just different pieces, Ephesians 4:11, and he gave some, apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, teachers, you just getting pieces. You're not seeing the whole picture. This was a letter to people and everything. And in the same way, these were things that were recorded and written, and to just hear it, sometimes you get some of the nuances to the meanings of what's being said. That's just been my experience. And again, precept upon precept, line upon line, you'll see that pattern. And that's kind of what happens too when you're listening to this word. Y'all can go to YouTube. YouTube got this stuff where you can read and listen to it. And you watching, they have the scripture on I got a playlist with the pseudepigrapha, not all of them have the text, but there are a good bunch of them that I have in there that have the text as well. So rather than giving 92.1 your ear, or anything else your ear, if you while you're driving or whatever, you pop that in, and while you're driving, you listening to these things. And I'm telling you, I catch all kind of nuggets. I catch all kind of stuff while I'm driving. It's like, oh my goodness, they just said that? What? And that's chapter what? Okay. And I can jot that down and go back to it and check it out. But yeah.
Okay.
I'll look at it on my phone. You can look up the lost books in matter of fact, I should be able to show you here. I'll see if my screen will show it. You got the book of Jasher, you got Enoch. Let me see if I can show it here. Philip, see the lost books? Huh? Put it closer to the. Went out. Look at Enoch, the lost books. And there's a couple of those apps there that you can that they have it to where you can listen to it as well. Because if you go to the 1611 Bible, the KJV 1611 Bible in the Bible app, you can't hear it. If it don't have a speaker next to it, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe it has the speaker next to it, you can't listen to it. But I know that one, the lost books, the KJV 1611, that's a separate, not in the regular Bible app, but the book of Jasher, you can listen to that as well while you're driving. But again, like I say, YouTube, they have those in there. I'll post that. I'll pull that up before we go out. I was trying to keep us to 2 hours. We just got 2 more in Jasher, and then I'm going to copy and paste the rest of my scriptures that I have for the Tanakh, no, not for the Tanakh, to the Apocrypha and Pseudepigrapha, and we'll go from there. 44 and 4. No, I just did 4. Did we read 4? Did we read 44 and 4? Okay. This is the first fruits.
Verse 4. And he celebrated the harvest festival of the first fruits with old grain, for in all the land of Canaan there was not a handful of seed in the land, for the famine was over all the beasts and cattle and birds, and also over man.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me he held a feast when it was in tough times? Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. All right. 49, 2 through 23. This one is talking about Passover, if I'm not mistaken. Through 23. Oh, well, you might as well just do one. That's the whole chapter.
Right. Ready?
Uh-huh.
Remember the commandment which the Most High Yah commanded thee concerning the Passover, that thou shouldest celebrate it in its season on the 14th of the first month, that thou shouldest kill it before it is evening, and that they should eat it by night on the evening of the 15th, from the time of the setting of the sun. For on this night, the beginning of the festival, and the beginning of the joy, ye were eating the Passover in Egypt, when all the powers of Macc had been let loose to slay all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh to the firstborn of the captive maidservant in the mill, and to the cattle. And this is the sign which the Most High Yah gave them: into every house on the lintels of which they saw the blood of a lamb of the first year, into that house they should not enter to slay, but should pass by it, that all those should be saved that were in the house, because the sign of the blood was on its lintels. And the powers of the Most High Yah did everything according as the Most High commanded them. And they passed by all the children of Israel, and the plague came not upon them, to destroy from amongst them any soul, either of cattle or man or dog.
Not even the dog.
Not even the dogs. And the plague was very grievous in Egypt, and there was no house in Egypt where there was not one dead, and weeping and lamentation. And all Israel was eating the flesh of the paschal lamb, and drinking the wine, and was lauding and blessing and giving thanks to the Most High Yah, their Elohim of their fathers, and was ready to go forth from under the yoke of Egypt and from the evil bondage. And remember thou this day all the days of thy life, and observe it from year to year all the days of thy life, once a year, on its day, according to all the law thereof. And do not adjourn it from day to day or from month to month, for it is an eternal ordinance and engraven on the heavenly tablets regarding all the children of Israel, that they should observe it every year on its day once a year throughout all their generations. And there is no limit of days, for this is ordained forever. And the man who is free from uncleanness and does not come to observe it on occasion of its day, so as to bring an acceptable offering before the Most High Yah, and to eat and to drink before the Most High Yah on the day of its festival, that man who is clean and close at hand shall be cut off, because he offered not the oblation of the Most High Yah in its appointed season. He shall take the guilt upon himself. Let the children of Israel come and observe the Passover on the day of its fixed time, on the 14th day of the first month, between the evenings, from the third part of the day to the third part of the night. For 2 portions of the day are given to the light, and a third part to the evening. This is that which the Most High Yah commanded thee, that thou shouldest observe it between the evenings. And it is not permissible to slay it during any period of the light, but during the period bordering on the evening, and let them eat it at the time of the evening until the third part of the night. And whatever is left over of all its flesh from the third part of the night and onwards, let them burn it with fire. And they shall not cook it with water, nor shall they eat it raw, but roast on the fire. They shall eat it with diligence, its head with the inwards thereof, and its feet they shall roast with fire, and not break any bone thereof. For of the children of Israel no bones shall be crushed. For this reason, the Most High Yah commanded the children of Israel to observe the Passover on the day of its fixed time, and they shall not break a bone thereof, for it is a festival day, and a day commanded, and there may be no passing over from day to day and month to month, but on the day of its festival let it be observed. And do thou command the children of Israel to observe the Passover throughout their days every year, once a year on the day of its fixed time. And it shall come for a memorial well pleasing before the Most High Yah, and no plague shall come upon them to slay or to smite in that year in which they celebrate the Passover in its season, in every respect, according to his command. And they shall not eat it outside the sanctuary of the Most High Yah, but before the sanctuary of the Most High Yah. And all the people of the congregation of Israel shall celebrate it in its appointed season. And every man who has come upon its day shall eat it in the sanctuary of your Elohim the Most High, from 20 years old and upward. For thus is it written and ordained that they should eat it in the sanctuary of the Most High Yah. And when the children of Israel come into the land which they are to possess, into the land of Canaan, and set up the tabernacle of the Most High Yah in the midst of the land in one of their tribes, until the sanctuary of the Most High Yah has built in the land, let them come and celebrate the Passover in the midst of the tabernacle of the Most High Yah, and let them slay it before the Most High Yah from year to year. And in the days when the house has been built in the name of the Most High Yah, in the land of their inheritance, they shall go there and slay the Passover in the evening at sunset, at the third part of the day. And they shall offer its blood on the threshold of the altar, and shall place its fat on the fire which is upon the altar. And they shall eat its flesh roasted with fire in the court of the house, which has been sanctified in the name of the Most High Yah. And they may not celebrate the Passover in their cities, nor in any place, save before the tabernacle of the Most High Yah, or before his house, where his name hath dwelt. And they shall not go astray from the Most High Yah. And do thou, Moses, command the children of Israel to observe the ordinances of the Passover, as it was commanded unto thee. Declare thou unto them every year, and the day of its days, and the festival of unleavened bread, that they should eat unleavened bread 7 days, and that they should observe its festival, and that they bring an oblation every day during those 7 days of joy before the Most High Yah on the altar of your Elohim. For ye celebrated this festival with haste when ye went forth from Egypt, till ye entered into the wilderness of Shur, for on the shore of the sea ye completed it.
All right. Okay. All right. Oh, shut. I missed one. 59 and 10. Let me go back to that right quick. That's right quick. And I'm gonna post those others in the chat also. All right. So 50 Jubilees 59 and 10. Yep. Yes, ma'am. Right here. I got it up. 9 and 10. Y'all don't see my screen? Showing what? Oh, shared the wrong screen. Thank you. There we go.
Verse 9. Ye shall do no work whatever on the Sabbath day, save what ye have prepared for yourselves on the sixth day, so as to eat and drink and rest, and keep Shabbat or Sabbath from all work on that day, and to bless the Most High your Elohim, who has given you a day of festival and a holy day, and a day of the holy kingdom for all Israel. In this is this day among their days forever. Verse 10. For great is the honor which the Most High Yah has given to Israel, that they should eat and drink and be satisfied on this festival day, and rest thereon from all labor which belongs to the labor of the children of men, save burning frankincense and bringing oblations and sacrifices before the Most High Yah for days and for Sabbaths or Shabbats.
All right. All right, y'all see all them scriptures in the chat? What you can do if you click those if you click the three dots at the bottom of the chat, the ellipsis or whatever they call it, you're going to see save chat. So you can save the chat so that you can go back and reference those scriptures, read the rest of those scriptures. All right, so we can open up the mics too and see if there be any particular questions, any additional information, because I know there are some that have been doing their research as well. I didn't get to one of the pieces where it shows us. Well, I showed y'all the third month was one, and the fourth month also. Yehudith 6:21, and just Yehudith. You go and look at Yehudith. She would fast, and there's a list of fast of days that she would not fast. And that's just interesting to kind of see how the chosen people, function and follow what they were, follow the commands and his love language and whatnot. But there is more, even beyond what I just sent. There's more. There's a lot more and everything. If that could just wet your whistle a little bit. Again, if you let me show you this real quick too, is that if you are on the calendar, guess I would need to share it, huh? If you're on the calendar, if you look in here, you see I put scriptures, you got scriptures in there as well. And it's some, like we didn't do This was just the feast days. This was just dealing with the feast days. I didn't do the scriptures that have to do with just told like this one is the new month. Now every new month, this is the reading. You know, now we read this, Julie's 23, or whatnot. But there are other places, instances in the scriptures that talk about the new months. Shavuot, the scripture is there for Shavuot. There's a lot. If you saw my other screen, I gotta add that. So I'll be adding the other scriptures to this. That way, you know, you and your family, as you doing, or as you talk to other people or whatnot, you know, you have at your fingertips. And if you have your phone, your calendar on the phone, you got the how am I trying to go? You've got the scriptures at your fingertips. You know, you got all your scriptures at your fingertip regarding those particular days. Now, and on these, I'll be adding the Apocrypha and the Pseudepigrapha in here, just so you have access to it if you want to be on that calendar deal there. Also, I showed y'all the classroom where a lot of this information is in too on the feast days. I sent out an invitation to those who wanted to get in there, and that way you can download, because like some of the classes I have some attachments, some supporting information, supporting documentation in those classrooms. So and listen, I ain't checking that. I'm not your professor. I'm not your moray. You got to work out your own soul salvation. It's been 2 hours and I'm about ready to I'm finna give me some more Shabbat in. But anyway, you can get in, you can get in there if you want to get in there and do that to just, you know, again, learn some more, because it's a lot because we didn't go over everything. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. And everything. Oh, and two, you must have a Gmail. It's got to be a Gmail. Love you back, Ma. Y'all see me in that spiffy tire and them suspenders? Yeah, your boy. You can't see my hairstyle. I had that fade going. So, but anyway, that's it. Anything else? Oh wow. She points out the black hair. Wow. All right, y'all. If there's nothing else, no other additions, or you know, questions, suggestions, we're open for that too. I'll bid you guys good night. All right. All right. Peace and blessings. May Yah's grace and peace remain upon you. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Hallelujah. Oh, thank you too, babe.
Hallelujah.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.